All right. And now we welcome on maybe one of the heroes of Team USA at these Paris Olympics. Came away with a world record, two Olympic records, gold medal in the 4x4, silver medal in the mixed 4x4. Vernon Norwood. Great business trip to Paris, I would say.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a great trip for me, man. It was it was what they call it, low maintenance, high reward
I love
for
that.
the relays and stuff like that. So but it was fun, man. I had a good time. We walked away with what we wanted to walk away with, world record. Only thing is just that I'm still missing that mixed relay gold. So hopefully I get it somewhere down the line.
Yeah. Well, as of right now, I guess I just saw the post from like LSU track that you're
Hmm.
now tied for like the most medals
Man,
in LSU history. That's pretty
that's
good.
that's crazy, man. I might go back down there. I might get a statue out down there, but now I feel like somebody go past me. I think either with Shakari or Mondo, even with the younger sprinters coming up too, though. So, but it's nice to see that recognition and LSU to have me, tie and stuff like that. I feel pretty big about it. That's a big deal, being at LSU, one of the most strategic like sprint schools and stuff. So it's a big deal, and for me to have that recognition, I think a lot of people they giving me my flowers for that.
One title I left off was ARC President.
Oh
It
yeah,
looked
the
like
art
from
president.
behind the scenes, the
Hmm.
energy at the U.S. training center, which is separate, I
Hmm.
guess, from the village, looked it was like it was unreal each night with everyone,
Yeah.
crowded around the TV, and then taking in all of the collective success of Team USA. And
Yeah.
you and Rye seem to have been at the heart of it. So, what felt different because from the social media, it looked like this team was like so united and feeding off
Yeah.
each other, and then it just like we would see the result of it on the track. But for someone who has been
Mhm.
on multiple teams over the last couple of years, like what felt different about this Team USA?
Well, let me start off with this. So, for people who don't know what the ARC is the Athlete Resource Center, basically our team lounge for people who didn't know what it was. And I got the symbol, the president, because that's basically what me and Rahan got at. And everybody was like, yo, you always in here. I'm like, I'm not about to be in my room all day. I'm going to just sit here and watch whatever's going on, whatever the event. Like, we're watching every sport. And, everybody come in there because it's snacks and stuff. It's a resource room. So it's like, for the athletes to get like a bunch of resources to help them throughout the day. So, and every time somebody walk in, we speaking to them, we giving them good energy, and we're like, yo, just hang out, you know what I'm saying? So throughout the entire throughout the entire Olympics, we were just getting everybody together, watching, support each other, and I think it just carried on a long way with everybody just feeding off each other because. We started off with the mix, got the world records first day, so I think that kind of set the tone from the get go. And Rod was my roommate. So it was me, Rod, Bryce Deadman, Shelby, Donald, Michael Norman. So we had a good apartment where it's like we got bringing some medals in these apartments. So but us just having that team feeling, just supporting everybody was just in there supporting everyone. And even like other sports, we watching volleyball, we watching basketball, we watching water polo, we watching artistic swimming, we watching sports that we never even thought of. And you just supporting them because we see these athletes every day. And we was like, we connecting with them. He's like, yo, I just checked you out. You awesome. You did your thing. You're like, oh my, and they return the favor. So like when we go and compete, they sitting in the art watching us compete. So like it was good energy, and I think we benefited from that a lot. But I got the art prayers because they were just being funny with that. Because when I'm in, I bring the energy. Like I'm in there joking around, talking, and then one day I walked in there, I see my picture on the wall. So what the hell, art president? Then this like everywhere. I'm like, oh, they trolling me, man. I'm like, oh, the troll getting trolled. So I think that was real funny. And now like people who I didn't met, they call me the art press. They follow me like, yo, press. Like I like, oh man, I gotta keep that going. But it was dope, man, for us to have that energy because it was very contagious, man. Because from Rod winning, Shelby getting silver, and Bryce was on the relays together. So like even everybody around the whole team, everybody was in there just really rooting for each other and wanting to do well. And I think I saw the benefits of that too.
What was the loudest it got when people were watching a race?
I think when I think it was during Noah and Quincy race. When Noah won the 100, because we had that suspense build for like 20 seconds just to see who won. And we had the video. I'm just up there like looking like
You were
who
hugging the
won, who won,
pillow.
who won. Yeah, I'm like, because I didn't know. And I think because we had it like it was like a movie in there. Like we had the lights off. We had everybody like sitting on the floor in the back. We had the volleyball team in there. Like it was so packed in there. Like we had our own little section in there with the lights off, Noran, and even Quincy too, because I think we was just like, could we see him chucking from Afghanistan, and he just finished out that race. We was just like going crazy for him. I think that was probably the two loudest days when Noah ran and when Quincy ran.
So what happens exactly? So like obviously like we see the moment take place on the track, and then like it
Mm-hmm.
does take a long time for, you know, these athletes to go through media, drug testing, and then to probably spend some time with their family. Many
Mm-hmm.
cases they probably didn't even spend the night back in like the village. But what's that like, I guess, the next day when they show back up to, you know, the
Man,
USA
it's
hub?
all it's like all love and support. Like every time we saw somebody, we want like yo, like you know what I'm saying. It's just all support and genuine love between competitors and athletes as well. Because at the end of the day, we Team USA, we together. But having that individual success, it's just all support and love. I think nobody was like everyone was just being very supportive, and to feel that energy and that love was kind of like gravitating towards giving it to someone else. So everyone was just feeding off that energy. Like when I came back with the world record and the silver, came back to the room like, yo, y'all went crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was a good, fun thing to be a part of. And I think everybody had a good time. Like I seemed like everyone had legitimate fun doing what they've been born to do, or just it didn't feel like a chore or a job almost. Everybody seemed like they was really enjoying themselves, which was really good because like I said, everyone benefited from that way, rather they walked away with a personal best, a medal, whatever it was. I think they walked away with a memorable experience of the Olympics in Paris.
Was there someone who like you became friends with that you'd never like didn't expect, or like that came as a surprise to you? Because obviously, like, you know, you're sponsored by New Balance.
Mhm.
You're surrounded by distance runners all the time, and so like you're one of the sprinters who's always kind of with, you know, the distance
Mhm.
runners at events sometimes. But was there like a person who you're like, all right, on this trip, I got to know this person really well, and I can walk away from this being like, oh, we're good friends now.
Uh, I don't know. I think I get along with everybody. I speak to everybody, but it wasn't someone that I actually like, hey man, nice to meet you, nice to know you, and stuff like that. I don't have a name on the top of my head, but I have met and talked to a lot of people, a lot of other athletes as well. But I don't think I grew that relationship in that time period. Like, oh man, we can hang out here and there, but for the most part, I got close to the Rye, I got close to the Shelby, close to the Bryce, and Deadman and Michael Norman, because we all lived together, so we saw each other every single day. So we built it a lot. And me and Roy got closer last year at World Championships, but I think our bond, our relationship, friendship grew a little bit more, especially going through the battles we didn't have the last 2 years. So not necessarily in one particular. Oh, and little Quincy, we
Yeah.
we we definitely developed more of a relationship, more like big brother, little brother type of thing, because he was there. We hung out a couple of days, the first couple of days. So having him around, seeing him around was kind of cool. I'm like, damn man, look at this little kid out here in the village, man. He don't know what's going on, but he enjoyed his time. But I think, and we still talk to this day. I text him a moment ago because he was in New York, because I was supposed to go to the Fanatic Fest with him, because Ryan Clark reached out to me. We were supposed to go together, but obviously I had to be here and stuff like that. So I kind of missed it. But I texted him like, hold it down for me, man. Don't leave big bro out. And he was like, man, I just met Hope and all that stuff. I'm like, man, enjoy it, man, because these moments you're gonna remember forever. So he like one of the persons I grew closer with, because just having him around was very like fun to see. Like, man, this kid don't even know how much he have that he gonna see. So it was fun, but nobody particular that I actually like. But everyone I met, talked to, everybody seemed to like me for some reason.
It's easy to like you, Vernon. All right, so
Sometimes.
let's uh let's
Hmm.
unpack sort of, you had a busy schedule because you were part of, you
Yeah.
know, both relays. But coming in to this, like even when we were talking at the trials, it was sort of like still up in the air up until a certain day, like who was going to be on this relay team.
Hmm.
When the lineup finally comes out and, you know, you see who's in the relay pool, What were your sort of thoughts, when it came to goal setting? Was it just sort of like, all right, world record in gold in both of the relays?
World record in gold when I first uh well, I knew that I was on it, but I didn't know necessarily how they was going to do the selection. But once I saw Shamir was added to that list, and I knew, like, I was like, whoa, Shamir's on here. And I'm like, and in my head, I'm thinking like they could use either me, Bryce, or Quincy for the mix. So I knew I was doing it. Like, I know I'm first up doing it, and I knew KK was doing it. She's a phenomenal talent, and so we was trying to see what was the order gonna be. But fast forward, we get to what it was going through the mixed relays, like Deadman, Norwood, Shamir, KK. I said, oh, I told Michelle, I said, that world record gone. I even told Alexis Holmes, because they broke the world record in blue. I said, Alexis, we about to shatter that world record probably by a second. She like, you think so? I said, yes. With this talented team, from which, no disrespect to the team that I had last year, but we have stronger 400 meter runners, and honestly, like, we have stronger 400 women, either women too as well. So we go at least shatter this record by a second. We might get in the first round. And long story short, that's exactly what happened. And we wasn't necessarily goal setting, going for the world record in the prelim. It was just all instance, this racing, this competing, and the energy in that stadium was crazy. So we just carried this, and we saw. But when I saw KK running, I'm like, oh shit, we gonna break the world record. And I see her finishing, and I look, and you see me walking to me. I said, yo, we got one more. This ain't it. Like, we got one more to go. So, we broke the world record. That was pretty cool to see, because we knew it was gonna take a world record to win that race. And with that talent, with Shamir being a sub 50 runner, KK being a sub 50 feet, like, she's only a freshman. She's 19 years old. So she's definitely one of the people to look out for moving forward in the future. And for her to have that stage and anchor us was a big deal, and she gonna have that experience moving forward. So, I think we're gonna be able to chip away at that record every year, especially with the talent that we have. When I saw the lineup, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm coming out the hole. It don't matter which way it's gonna go. Bryce hold me, whatever third. It don't even matter. The world record is just gone, and we knew it was gonna be a challenge with the other teams going into the final, just trying to put ourselves in a good position. But a lot of things that could have happened, but we came up with the silver, which was still a great accomplishment. It's just like, damn, we wanted that gold, but we still had the world record. The only
Yeah.
thing I felt good about was the Netherlands didn't get the world record. It was
Yeah.
real close though. They got the world record too. I was like, dang.
All right. So as someone with an Olympic medal in this event, and then like the mixed 4x4 in the United States gets a bunch of criticism, right? Like,
It
because
does.
it's like, all right, like our top stars, the people who make the individual team aren't running it. And it's like, we could be putting this world record even further out. And like gold shouldn't even be like a doubt. Defended, I guess, like for someone who's in that
Well,
position, as to like,
let me.
this was a really good showing for Team USA.
It was a great showing, and let me put it in perspective. When you look at it as, me and Bryce Deadman we ran the individual last year in Budapest, and we out here on the relay. It just shows that we have the significant amount of depth in the 400-meter event. So every 400-meter runner is a top elite runner. Bryce ran 44.20 this year. I ran 44.10. KK ran 49.1. Shamir ran 49, 50 point low, whatever it was. So those times are probably one of the best times, or top two in European or African countries. So, like, you could say, like, oh, they wasn't the best US, but in the world, we still are the best in elite talent. So you can't just say, oh, we throw somebody else out there, it could get gold. It could go either way with that, because a lot of times it's all about how, it's just all about how you put it together. But I wouldn't downplay it and say, like, oh, they don't really put the best people out there. I'm like, okay, we could throw Sydney on there. We could throw around. You could throw all these scenarios out there, but I still feel like at the end of the day, that's was the best team that we put out there, and we came away with a world record. We just got silver. You know, some people just had a better day, but you gotta give credit to those other countries like the Netherlands and the Dominican Republic when they used to compete in that event, and even Great Britain. They can afford to put their best people out there because they don't have the depth like us. Femke did a phenomenal job. She sacrificed her individual event to come out and help the country, and she got rewarded for it. Same with Lieke Clava. She got rewarded for it. And even Great Britain girls, they did a significant job to come away with a bronze. So you can't just say, like, oh, the USA, they downplaying the event. Like, nah, we putting our best people out there for the best case scenario, because you know, because to be honest, even if I made the open, I still was gonna do the mix. I told him like my plan was I told you earlier, 400 mix. I was going there with a heavy load, and I felt like I was definitely fit enough to challenge and do that. So, you know, because I'm like, why not? It's still Olympics. Why not try to just, you know, if I'm in shape and fit, and try to do our best chance to win. I'm gonna go out there and try to compete. But who knows? We'll see, man. Because Rob been hitting at it. He told me, I'm gonna do the mix next year. I said, you say that now, but we'll see you next year. You see how you really feeling and see if you want to do it. Because he has said it though. He said he want to do the mix relay next year. I said, we'll see, bro. But I think we put our best people out there this year. I think this year, yeah, it's probably the best. It's probably one of the most competitive events because you got those other countries putting their best people out there. Same with USA. We putting our best people who just didn't get the open event, but they can still get an open event somewhere else if they was representing another country.
Yeah.
You know, so it is what it is.
All right, so let's move over to the men's 4x4 with the first round. Man, this is one that had everyone's heart rate going. There's a lot of excitement coming into this race because people see Quincy Wilson as the leadoff leg, and everyone wanted this for the kid. Going into the race, was there any sort of level of concern with just sort of where Quincy was at?
I had zero concern. I had 110% confident that he was going to be able to go out there and compete, which he did. I think first leg probably the best leg in our scenario for him to do because, you know, because it could win either one. It could have went either way. Either he ball out or fall out, you know, in the scenario where it's a lot of stuff that went down that a lot of people don't know that happened. So I told Mike Marsh that I'll go second just to, you know, back him up a little bit, be big brother to make sure like, you know, he don't have too much of a big responsibility. And I think first leg was the best leg to put him at for to not give him so much responsibility because, you know, it's his first time out there. But like I said, he earned his spot to run. He earned his chance to be there. He ran phenomenal all year. You know, it was just all about how can he able to hold up with what he was going through at that time. And I told him after the race, like, you did your job. Like, it don't matter about times here. It's all about place. You put us in like this is a relay. It's just not no solely individual have to do one job. We all have to do a job. And you did your job. I did mine. Bryce did his. And Chris did his. So we all did our job to qualify for the next round. And I told him in the back, I said, don't worry about this. I'm gonna get you a gold medal. I promise you. I kept telling him, like, don't worry about this, bro. You good. I think he was just a little bit disappointed in how he performed. But I'm like, man, don't even worry about that type of stuff. You better walk away. Olympic gold medals at 16 years old. You know, it's people who would love to be in your position that's not. And so you have to just know, remember this, feed off this, and understand like this only gonna make you better because now you see how the international competition is. It ain't just like you waking up or you just warming up and going straight to the track. It's a process. You gotta warm up, go sit in this call room, then go to the next call room. Then you gotta wait a little bit for the TV. So it's the whole process that he got to experience and understand. Like, oh, this is how it is. Then going to get 70,000 people, you know. But leading up for me, I was like, you know, I'm watching it. I'm just like, yeah, got a little work to do, but I wasn't sweating it though. I stayed poised. I understood the assignment. I knew what I was going out there to do, and that's the position that I was in. And I trusted Bryce and Chris to do their job as well. So it was a matter of trust. And I told Coach Michelle, Mike Marsh, like the word of the day is trust. So we want to trust each other to go out there and qualify, and that's the only thing we wanted to do. And that's what we did, man. And I was very proud of Quincy to come out there and hold himself together because he was dealing with a whole lot that a lot of people don't know about, and that's gonna be his story to tell one day about what he was going through about that whole experience. But he did his job, and I'm proud of him, man. He had Olympic gold medalist at 16 years old, man. I told him, look, I said first day of school, you got to go out there with that thing on your neck, man.
He has to. That was the number one question when we put it up on Instagram that everyone kind of submitted for you was just like, what did you tell Quincy, you know, when when he stepped off the track and the race was over? So that was it.
Yeah, I basically was just like, man, keep your head up. Like you did your job. Like you put us in position to go for the goal tomorrow. So don't even worry about this. You don't even overthink this. I know you feeling how you feeling, but overall as a team, you did your job. Without you, we would not get this goal. Because you put us in a position. So without you, we would not even be in this position. So I just try to help him understand how important he was and how much of a factor that he played into this relay with us.
So then from there to
Mhm.
get to the final, this is the first
Mhm.
time that you've ever been put on the 4x4 in the final, right?
Well, second time
Second
because
time.
last year Budapest
Oh,
they put
that's
me on the
right.
final, but for
For the
this that's
Olympics.
why but I had a conversation on the nightcap when they were asking about the Kendall situation. I was just like, man, I've been on 8-7 teams, and this is my second time being on the final
Mhm.
for 4x4, and I'm gonna show out. And we was going through the whole scenario about who's gonna be on what, but we went down two guys. We went down Michael Norman and Quincy Hall. So, initially we had to shake some things up with the relay, and it still fell into our favor. But you go ahead with your question.
No, so I was gonna say, yeah, because Quincy Hall, I guess the 400 took
Mhm.
a lot out of him. Mike was dealing with something. All right, what do you think was the ideal order? Like, I guess before all of
So
that, and
I
then we
I
ended up with Chris Bailey, you, Deadman, and
mhm,
then
Edmund
Rye.
and Ra. Honestly, I think with let's say hypothetically, if Quincy and Michael Norman was healthy, I don't think we was gonna use Rye for some reason because we was so strong in the 400 this year with me running 44.10, Bryce running 44.2, Quincy 44.2, Bailey 44.3. No, Norman was gonna run 43 if he didn't get hurt, and Quincy was already 43.4. So we had enough strength where we didn't really need Ross. So I don't know how the 4x4 final was going to play. I think maybe I would have got left off because I know for sure they was using the top three guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that fourth spot could have either been Rob, me, or Bryce. Who knows? But long story short, when we didn't know, we knew Michael was out. He knew he was dealing with his stuff. So we was like, oh damn, we lost Michael. So now we was kind of still questionable about Quincy because he's telling us that he good, but he's still waiting on doctors, and the doctor wasn't clearing him. So the order was gonna be with Quincy. It was gonna be, I think, me to Rye to Chris to Quincy. Or it could have been Rye. I mean, it could have been Chris to Rye to me to Quincy. But when we found out Quincy was out, then we were like, damn. So Detman step up, which is still fine. So now we shifted the order because Rye initially wanted to run second if Quincy was running. But I'm going through this new lineup, so I'm like telling Rye, I said, hey, bro, you gotta bring us home. Like, you gotta anchor us. He's like, yeah, no. I say, I'm gonna have to go second. Chris gotta come out the hole. And Detman, I said, it's still gonna be, we still gonna win, but it's still gonna be like a battle between Botswana and GB2 as well. So we understood what we needed to do and what was going into that race because like going into that race, we knew Tobago and Matt Hudson Smith was the X factors for their teams. And I knew Matt was running second. And we thought Tobago was going second because when we was in the car room, they got to sit the leg you're supposed to run. So first, second. So he was sitting second the whole time. So I'm like, so in my head, I'm like, okay, I got the dogs on my leg. I got Matt, I got Tobago, but I was already locked in, ready to go. Because at the same time, I'm like, I just know because second leg is the leg. So we get into the other car room. He's still sitting second. So I'm like, just looking around, like, okay, this how we doing. So I tap Rye, and then we see him switch to his actual leg. So he was like, oh, he running anchor. So me and Rye just shook our head. We made a little eye contact, like they trying to play like these games. And so
I
going
don't think
throughout
people
that
know
night,
that as much about Tobago. Is that Tobago is like quietly a little bit of a troll and like can
yeah,
also he can dish it
yes.
out. He knows what he was
So
doing there.
yeah, because in my head, because I said to him some like the day before, after we finished, got done running, I was like, hey, you got to show me that again tomorrow because I'm thinking he go stay on first leg. I ain't know what he was going, but I'm just this like this being friendly, talking shit to him like hey, you got to show me that tomorrow. See what you got. You're like okay, like this going back a little bit, just on a friendly way, but And the next day come, I'm thinking I'm like, oh, he running second. My leg, I should never said that to him. So, we go through that, and then we realized they made that little switch. So me and Rod picked up on it easily. We were just like, 'cause me and Rod was very observant. We was just trying to see what was going on. So we picked it up. It was like, bro, you see that? I said, yeah, bro. So I said, let's just lock in, be good. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta give credit to the Botswana, even Great Britain, because those guys went 255, they went 254, we went 254 with the Olympic record, almost this close to the world record. And me and Rob was talking about this since last year. Like, we was like, the world record gone. Like, that's something that we definitely got an eye out for, depending on who on the team or how they put it together. I feel like both men and women 4x4 world records, it definitely is on borrowed time right now. But it was fun, man, watching that whole race with Tobogo and Rod getting the stick stride for stride. And I tell you, man, I was tensed up on the side because in my head, I'm like, he gonna at least die off at some point. But then I see him coming home, and I'm like, hold up, he's still there. And I'm like, I know Rod ain't gonna let him just like, I know Rod was gonna be able to hold him off a little bit, and he did, but I still gotta give him credit because at the end of the day, Tobogo know what he was going up against, and Ra also respected what he was going up against. So his raw IQ for that race and in that time was very, very at a very high level. And I'm thinking nobody in this world was going to be able to anchor us the way he did. Nobody. And I think he did a great job. And I tell him to this day, man, you always good in my book because I ran straight to him after the relay. I'm like, yo, like this, because people got to give their credit to Tobogo, because dude is going to be a problem for these next couple of years, whether he want to focus for the 1, 2, or the 4. He's definitely is going to be a problem. And a lot of people don't know this. Like, he took like a whole month off from training because he was dealing with personal stuff with his mom passing. So for him to come out and do that for his teammates, man, that just showed me how big his character is, because those same guys that he went to war was the same guy that was helping him get through his year, man. And I think what he did for those guys, helping them get to where they was at, was really big. So I gotta just salute and give him a lot of respect, because that was a fun race to be a part of. Like, I rewatched it, and I was just like, yo, we are really, really, really moving in the crowd, man. Like, because at some point I just blanked out. Like, it felt like I didn't even hear the crowd no more when I was running, and I'm just still going. I'm passing up Matt. I'm like, yo, we in this thing, because I know Matt was just gonna just go past me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna catch. I'm gonna see him eventually, because I'm not about to just go bang out with you, knowing that I gotta, like, what I'm saying, put us in a good position. So it was a fun race to be a part of, man. And I'm just a little bit disappointed that we was this short off the world record, but I think next year for sure, depending on who set it up, it's on borrowed time, man.
I went back and I watched that world record race not that long ago, and it is very impressive. But each time,
Hmm.
especially after this race, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, it's happening. We just need like one or two little fixes, and the fact that
That's it.
when they ran that world record, USA was dominant
Yeah,
and
Michael
solo in this
Johnson.
one.
Yeah, they had like a way open lead, but
And it's
and
good,
that's
I think,
my
that we
thing.
have Botswana pushing, the United States,
Mhm.
where like Isaac McQualla, like I don't know how old he is, but like he's the OG of like the
Mhm.
400 in that country. Yeah,
Mhm.
USA versus Jamaica is like a iconic rivalry, but I love the idea of USA Botswana in the 4x4
Botswana.
becoming
Yeah,
a
and
thing.
even Great Britain too, though.
Yeah,
Don't
Great
don't
Britain's
sleep
right
on
there
Great
too.
Britain, man, because they have some really good talented quarter models that's coming up with Matt and Charlie Dobson. But they also got some other guys that could just sneaky be on a good relay. Because they gotta give them credit. They ran 255. Like, they ran 255. That's still rolling, and I don't know about Jamaica. They could, if all their guys
They're
get
rebuilding right
healthy, and
now.
if they could rebuild up to, they could get back into that hunt. But right now, it's us, Botswana, and Great Britain for the time being, unless some team like India come out of nowhere and just start popping out or something. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
did last year. They went 250 something in the prelims, and then they was gassed the next round. So, we always go be in the hunt because we just got the depth. And I think that's one of the most fortunate things about USA, just having that type of depth. But Botswana, man, they got some guys that's this year, like they have like at least 5 guys or 6 guys that ran under 45 seconds. So they have quality depth. And throwing Tobago in that mix, it's dangerous because we watched him lead off and then we watched him anchor. His most dangerous and best leg would be second.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm glad he didn't run second because he was gonna give me some problems.
Well,
He
so
probably was
explain
still
it
42
explain it to
deep on
like the
second
common
leg.
fan as to like why Rye said this on Nightcap as well. The second leg is
Hmm.
typically the leg everyone wants and what the one that
Yeah,
everyone can roll on. I mean, the
yeah,
idea of Tobogo running a second leg, that's when we see another
yeah,
42-9 split.
yeah. Because I'm necessarily like not a second leg run. I'm either first. I prefer the first or third. I can run any leg if you put me out there and get my job done and get the job done. But second leg is that little, it's that leg for those speedy quarter miles of those speedy guys like a Dream or Tobogo or Rob Benjamin or Michael Norman because it's that bend you gotta get around. So you gotta go. It's almost like running indoors a little bit because you could cheat a couple meters in. So it's like it's almost like you're running 400, but not so much. But it's that way you could cut in and cheat some meters. It's just depending on how you cut yourself off and do it. But that second leg is also that dog leg. It's that leg that's gonna separate your team and put your team in a good position. You don't have a good second leg because you have a good first leg, and your second leg get the stick and just play around with it. You could lose so much momentum in the relay. So this, if you watch, because people thought we was just gonna be like sitting in third, then I made my move and put us back in the hunt. Then Bryce made his move, so that second and third exchange for us was really big. But that second leg is that dog leg because that's where they put their best position to either separate and get to the lead. You know, because you want to just avoid that traffic. You don't want to be trying to bring in the stick like when we was running the prelim. I brought the stick way out to like lane 8. I ain't never experienced that day in my life just bringing the stick way out there. I'm always in lane 1 or 2 bringing the stick in that close. So me bringing that stick out way out. And that's what we try to avoid with the 4x4 is just stand out in front because you can't move after the official put you there. So you have to stay there once you get the stick around for the second leg. But it's that dog leg, and I think everybody want to try to get that cheat code split. You saw Sydney easy 47, chilling.
Yep.
And I think she could do that on any leg, though. Probably that first leg. The first leg is just a whole 400, even a little bit more meters too. But that second leg is you could cheat it a little bit with the cut in and stuff like that. But you got to roll though. It's preferably for those speedy 400-meter guys that could really dominate that leg. Like Tobogo, he could dominate that leg if he want to.
Yeah.
Dominate it.
I love having you because now I can pick your brain on things. But
Mm-hmm.
for something like this, if you change the order of this Team USA like
Mm-hmm.
roster, does it get the world record or no? Like, because you said
Would
you're
you?
typically not a second leg. I know like the win was
Well,
great, but like if you changed the order and moved Rye to second and put you, I don't know, fourth or whatever.
um, Well, for that time being, we weren't even thinking about world records for that
Yeah.
team. We was just thinking winning, and I think we put together that team like strategically to dominate each leg and put us in a good position to win. Like we knew we had to put Ryan in a good position to either go get the lead or hold on to the lead. So I think me, Chris, and Bryce had to do our job up front to set Rye up. So strategically, we had to. That was our plan, just to make sure Rye was in good position to do his thing, and that's what he did. But we didn't know. But that's why I say Botswana just pushed us to the limit, whereas they got the best out of us on each leg. From Chris. Chris was 44-4. I was 43, 2 or 3, whatever it was. Bryce was 43. So I think me and Bryce going back to back 43s was huge for our relay to set Rye up. And even Chris did a phenomenal job. People was talking about Chris talking about like he didn't do his job. Chris did his job. Like he ran his race. He brought the stick like in what second or third position. It didn't matter. We was in the position that we needed to be in because I knew once we got to Bryce was going to get the lead back.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that for a fact. I had so much confidence in trusting Bryce that I knew that by the time I get it to him, we was gonna be in good position getting it out to Rod now. And I knew once Rod get the stick in the lead, I just knew like okay, but Tobogo was just so close, hanging on to him strap for strap. I'm just like, hey man, I was kind of worried. I'm not lying. I was very, very worried at first, just because how close he was. I'm like, yo, when he go die off? Like when is he gonna like? But he kept going. So they went to the line, man. 254, like it's
Mm-hmm.
insane.
All right. So
But
I
I don't
saw.
think.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. No, I don't think like we was. I don't think we if we was man. Honestly, if they put me in anchor. I probably would have folded, man. That's why I say Rob was the best
Yeah.
guy for that position because if you either way, it still was going to be close as it was. It wasn't going to be a way where he get the stick and he separated so much, So he was at where he needed him to be at.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you guys got the gold medal. That's what
Yeah.
matters. You
Oh,
guys
that
have another
matters.
chance for the
Yeah, I
world
know
record
that
next
yeah.
time.
Yep.
I saw your tweet. You tweeted at Tobogo saying, like, come
Hmm.
on, before the season ends, give us one
I
more
want to see it.
400. What do you think he's capable of?
Man, honestly, he's definitely capable of sub 44. I don't want to honestly, I don't even want to limit his greatness. I don't want to put a limit on his greatness, but he's definitely could go sub 44. He has the tangibles to do. He has the speed, he has the strength. He already ran 44.2 earlier this year. And me, just as a fan and as a competitor as well, I like to embrace people, competitiveness and just embracing competition as well. So even though he would have come in the four, that's my event too. I want to see it. I want you to, either do it against me or other competitors in my event. I want to embrace that, whether you win, lose, or draw. I want to be able to see great performances, and I know fans want to see that as well. So, I tweeted at him. He liked it, but if I see him here, I'm gonna keep like nagging him about like, man, come on, man, hop in the 400 just to see what you could do again. You know what I'm saying? Like, give us more. You teased us with because you go out there and split. I know it was a split, but still, you still capable of running that as well. And I just want to see it because he definitely has a talent, and I believe, honestly, I believe he's a 400 runner. Um, that does the one and the two, because he's great in all one. He a hybrid, like he could do 1, 2, and 4 and medal in all of them if he really wanted to train for it. But I just wanted to see it, like as if I just want to see something. Like I just want to see it, like come out
Yeah.
here, man. This test the waters, run a little bit more quarters, and I think that him having that 400 strength background help his 200 meter a lot, and I think that's gonna continue to challenge Noah Lyles and him and Kenny and all those other guys in the 200 to battle it out for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I guess that's where my head goes to the next question, because obviously Noah made a lot of headlines with his appearance
Hmm.
on Nightcap on just a variety of different topics, and one of them was the
Yeah,
400,
yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, if I commit myself to training for the 400,
Hmm.
whether it is a couple years of doing that, he believes that he could break the world record in that." And
As
yeah,
you,
I mean, it's
as you
Noah.
should think, because at the
Yeah,
end of the day, you're not training to be mediocre. You're training to be great. So him saying that is, I don't expect nothing less for him to be like, yeah, because that's what we all training to do, to break the world record or to just be great and win and dominate. So him saying that went over a lot of people's head because every time he says something, people just blow it up. But at the end of the day, he just speaking greatness into himself. Like, why would you train? That's like me saying, oh, I'm just training this to,
yeah.
run 10-0, 10-1, just to win. Like, no, you're training to be great because you know you have to be great. So him saying that, I like, I don't expect nothing less. Like, of course, you're trying to be great.
I thought
Breaking
one
the
of the
world
best
record,
top comments though was, it was like, well, you better do it soon, because if Tobogo gives it a shot, he might be putting that thing a little bit tougher.
man. Tobogo got it. It'll be a problem, man. I think he stay healthy, stay focused, and stay, motivated. He's the one. I'm a big fan of Tobogo, man. I like the kid a lot. He's real cool, quiet, calm, humble. And it seemed like he just enjoyed being around his friends and his teammates and just doing his thing, man. He don't bother nobody, so it's hard not to root for a kid like that.
Okay, so one other thing on Noah really quick is
Hmm.
obviously, like, this Olympics was, had a lot of attention on him going into it, and you sit on Twitter and you see just sort of like the reception
Yeah.
to anything that he does. Rye has come out and said, like, I'm enough of the Noah slander. Like, that's his guy. He stands with him, and he's doing what he can to bring attention to the sport. And sometimes, like, I think he's a
Hmm.
little misunderstood, or he might be getting ahead of himself sometimes. But overall, like, what Noah has been doing to bring attention to track has been great. Sometimes it's a
Yeah.
little misguided. Where do you stand on the whole thing as, like, the as one of, I would say, like, the captains of Team USA?
To be honest, when you're at the top, man, you can do what you want. You know what they say, you do what you want when you pop it. I mean, at the end of the day, he could do what he want, man. He labeled himself the fastest man in the world. Nobody beat him, in the major championships in the 100. He won the worlds last year, then win the Olympics. So he has every right to say and do it as he feels until somebody come knock him off. Until somebody come knock him off, because like, when you're at the top, people are going to be tripping at you. People are going to say what they want to say. People are going to criticize you for everything you do and say. So he has that target on his back, whereas every little thing he says is going to trigger a lot of people. So that just comes with him just being at the top. I don't have no problem with it, man. I see it. I actually, I like looking at the stuff. It's entertaining. So whatever he says, and people just go all ballistic about it, just like, wow, it's not that deep, man. But at
Nah,
the
it's
end of the
track.
day, at the end of the day, sometimes the slander get a little bit too much. I'm just like, come on, man, it's not that deep. Like, dude, just trying to build the sport, and because now he got that household name. Like now he could go somewhere, people recognize him immediately. Like, oh, loud, like what I'm saying. So for him to like, he's a star, and he's a star of our sport because he's the Olympic champion, world champion, fastest man alive. So that's the title he has on him, and I think people they just don't appreciate greatness sometimes, and I think him being great, they don't really too much like, I guess, accept it from him. But I
Mhm.
mean, he's it's just him. Like you can't
Yeah.
control what people do and say, but at the same time, like until somebody beat him, then I don't see no reason why him to say what he could say what as he feel.
Mhm.
Everybody entitled to their own opinion. So why every time he say something, people want to get on him about it? It get kind of annoying, but at the same time, like, hey, that's what happens when you're at the top, man.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I was at the top. Look, I tweet some crazy stuff just to get on people's nerves. He better than me because I'll be man. If I was, I'll be trolling them so bad just because I could do it, and niggas gonna like take it and run with it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm a fan of Noah too, man, because he great for the sport. He great for himself. He represents himself, his family, and everything he does at a very high level. And he take what he does very seriously, like his craft, him being a professional. You can see it because he getting better each year in the 100, because he always was a 200-meter specialist. But for him to come down and really emphasizes more on the 100, and that go way back to him doing 60 indoors.
Mhm.
You see how much that improved his 100, working on his start, working on that first 40 to 60 meters, and his best attribute of his races is topping. So for him to take that much craft into the 100 meters, it shows how serious he is about one day breaking the world record in the 1 and 200. So you can't stop somebody from greatness. But I think if people just seeing it's just him, they just be hating, man.
Yeah.
They just be hate. But me, you do what you want, man. Hey, I'm Vernon Norwood. You can do what you want, man. You can say what you want, do what you want, man. You good in my book, man. You got my support.
All right. So Noah shut his season down. Rye shut his season
Mhm.
down. You're still going. You got some diamond
Yep.
leagues lined up. You're coming off of
Yeah.
a 44:10 personal best in
Mhm.
Monaco. Are we on a mission to see a 43
Yeah.
this year?
Honestly, I'm not necessarily aiming for that because only reason why I'm still racing because I'm a little bit under race. Each year I like to get between 14 and 15 400 meter races. Right now I'm at 11 because those rounds not doing the forward took away some races. So honestly, I'm just trying to finish on a very high level, be consistent. But if I run 43, cool. If I don't, I'd rather save it for next year. But the way these competitions looking, I'm gonna have to compete very hard because I'm just not gonna just go out there and not do my very best. So hopefully hopefully we might see a sub 44. Hopefully just based off the fitness that I am in and how these races setting up with all these guys getting in the race with Quincy, Matt Hudson Smith, Jareem, and all those guys, and the kid from Zambia as well. So with how these races setting up, we hoping for a sub 44, but if not, then I'd rather just finish on a high note, getting some quality races in, getting ready for next year because I don't have nothing to prove running 43 this year if I didn't get to do it at the highest meet. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
it'd be nice to do it in Brussels at the Diamond League final just to say, hey, I won it. But at the same time, I will hope to, have that in the tank for next year. But I'm gonna just go out there and compete at my very best, and whatever comes with that. So you'll see me at Lausanne, you'll see me at Rome, you might see me at Bellazona and also Brussels as well. So I'm just trying to just just finish out the season because this is what I trained to finish out in September. So I'm just trying to finish off how I started and just stay on the path of what I'm doing. But we'll see though. I mean, I'm in good enough shape to do it, so we'll see. I've been resting these since the Olympics. Haven't really been doing much, so I'm well rested to put out some good 400s.
All right, let's get into some of these questions that were submitted on
Oh,
Instagram.
you really had questions?
Yeah, look at this, all
I
of this.
thought I was like, oh man, I didn't know people was gonna ask some questions.
Yeah, we're gonna do some rapid fire ones because and you
Okay, cool. I got you.
so many of them are about like how old you are. And it's like at the end of the day,
Bro,
32, not old. I turn 31 next
listen,
month.
if it wasn't for me racing against Quincy Wilson at trials, nobody would have never knew my age. Nobody knew I was 32 years old. After that, after that, people was like, "Man, you 32?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, so what? Like, then I'm going through. So I got like a little fake TikTok page, right? A fake TikTok account. Just gotta be checking the comments, reading stuff. So I'm searching stuff, and I'm going through the comments with me and Quincy racing. Somebody say, "Oh my God, he racing a dinosaur." Because they were talking about how old I am. I was like, "Yo." I responded back, just talking crazy. I say, "Shut up." This on my fake page. Nobody knows me though, so. I don't think 32 is that bad. It's about how you feel, but
But Chris Morales
nope.
Williams came out with the pencils comment.
But that dude was talking. I was like, I was like, what is he talking about? But I mean, I get it though. You 19. You're right. Some people out here got families. I get it, but I'm like, what do they got to do with you running, man? Just go out there and compete, bro. Like, I'm like, man, he just young, man.
He
Keep
he gave us
Canadian,
shit for
bro.
it because we made the graphic. And then
Hmm.
in the comments, he was just like, I didn't say that. I didn't say they were old. So what did we do? We posted the audio clip of it, and it was very clear. He
Yeah,
said the
it's
word
fine.
old.
Like,
And then the
right.
next day, when we saw him after he got eliminated, he was just like, he's like, my comment was taken out of context. It's a saying that my coach has, and I was like,
Yeah,
but still, at the end of the day, he is a funny guy
yeah.
though. Like at the end, and he was
Yeah, I'm
smiling
pretty
through
sure
it.
he is.
Yeah.
It was funny when I was like, I'm not ready. I was just like, what? I just laughing. But I mean, man, I was just, I don't know. I just thought it was funny though. But he's young. Another 400-meter talent that's going to be on the rise as well. I think he just had a long season this year with the collegiate season, and but he's gonna be one to look out for moving forward if he could, develop into being a professional.
All right, so Y Nibs asks, how long do you plan on being the UNC of USATF? Someone else, Amanda Chen 827 said, do you plan to attend the 2028 Olympics? It was a little sad when Rye made that video and he was like, all
I
right, I'll
know.
see you
Cause
in 4 years.
look.
I'll be here. He might not be.
Yeah, because that's what we kind of been talking about. Cause I'm like, man, honestly, I'm taking it year by year because because Rob was like, man, you gotta go to 28, bro. Because Rob was like, I'm like, bro, oh, bro, we'll see, bro. Like, come on, man, I'm getting sad. And then like, so I got like a whole bunch of like behind the scene footage stuff that I'm gonna be posting throughout like the next couple of days. Like, I got part one out already. I'm gonna do part two probably sometime in the next couple of days. So so they was like recording, he's like, yeah, catch us in 2028. you know, we gonna be there. We might not be there. And I was just like, yeah, I might not be there. But who knows? Like I tell nowadays, like I'm going year by year, I think after this year and going into like next year, I'm gonna like be very like strategic of how I want to manage my race. Like I'm not gonna be doing 14 to 15 40 races. I might cut it down to like maybe 8 to 10, including trials and rounds. Just gonna have to do more high quality training versus like me, you know, doing races. So I got a plan moving forward, how I want to, how I can map it out and how I can work out. So I'm gonna just take it day by day because I'm feeling pretty well and moving pretty well. So I think I'm gonna just take it year to year thing. But we'll see.
I
It's
know,
definitely not off the table though.
I know the coaches, walk away from this Olympics having done a good job, but like for you, with your experience, would you ever like, I guess, be interested in taking on like a relay coach role if that's the capacity that 28 throws at you?
Michelle always tell me like, hey, this gonna be your job in the next couple of years. You just don't know yet. And I'm just like, we'll see. But I'm like, they were firing me because I'm not taking no shit from nobody. Like I'm doing exactly what I want to do and how to do it. Like, it's just gonna be very, but also like Coach Shaver, he has plans for me at LSU and stuff like that. And I'm still a volunteer assistant going on my third year as well. So it's a lot of things that can me going to the coaching role because I have good, coaching abilities for just with being a motivator, understanding, being disciplined. So I have like good attributes of being a good coach and stuff like that. But it's stuff I have been thinking and talking about, but it's a lot of stuff that I want to do when I'm done running, and coaching might be one of them. I definitely want to work with New Balance if I could, just like on the apparel side, just helping out with that, stuff like that. But I also still want to just work with athletes and help them develop as, just want to work with athletes and help develop, like whether it's like on the pro side, collegiate side, whatever it is. But there's a lot of stuff that I've been having my mind open to, and I'm just nice to see that. I think once I'm done, I think I could just go right into that adjustment and I'll be fine, And I think I made the right relationships with people in the right conversations. And I think people like me enough to understand and trust me too as well. So it's gonna be exciting. I'm more excited for my next years when I'm done running than when I am now, though. Because it's something that's gonna bring me joy every day, like me making sure I'm helping people too, though. So we'll see. But the relay job, though, man, I'll get fired, man. Because if I'm going with who I want to go with, I'm putting everybody in the pool. If you're running 1, 2, 4, hey, everybody in the pool, man. And I don't know. I'm just talking, but Michelle definitely hinted, joked with me about it, like because throughout this year, it was a lot of insight that I had to help us, come away with a lot of success. And I think Mike and Michelle get the credit and recognition that they deserve because you look at the last couple of years. Michelle and Mike, they led us to either gold medal, world record, championship record. So they've been having success, but they still get a lot of slander about stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, their job is to prepare us. Us athletes, we gotta go out there and perform. So,
Mhm.
if a accident something happened on the track, that's between the athletes. That has nothing to do with the coaching.
Yeah.
So, oh, they need no like it wasn't the coach's fault. The athletes didn't execute. The coach's job is just to prepare the athlete, put them on the boat. The athlete got to go swim.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, we'll see the 2028 though.
Yeah.
Keep our fingers crossed.
All right, this is a fun one. We'll do two more. And all right, this one was Affinity asks if you were hosting Track's version of Inside the NBA, who would be your co-host?
My co-host,
Yeah.
oh, probably Anthony Edwards.
No. I'm saying like Track. So if we did like a post-race show, all right, CITIUS Mag has
Okay.
the has a
Oh,
broadcast.
who would be
Yeah,
my
who's sitting next
co-host?
to you? That it's a show where it's
Shamir
like, all
Little.
right, you're gonna get analysis, but at
Shamir
the same
Little.
time, jokes. Who's on it?
Shamir Little. Easily Shamir Little. Me and her together on the co-host. Oh my God. We probably laughed the whole time. We won't get no questions off, but definitely Shamir Little.
All right, you get
Either
like two,
Shamir
three
Little or
more
Michael
spots.
Cherry.
Who else is on it?
Oh, Shamir Little, Michael Cherry, Marvin Bracey.
Wow.
Elite, elite. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to get a show together. We go try to host some just to give people a little taste of that.
All right,
But
we'll
those
produce
three.
it for Sidious and then, give it a
Oh, man,
test run. Yeah.
we're gonna get to that for next year. Me, Cherry, Bracey, it should be a little. All right, we gonna do that.
I love that. Um, Another one was so many of these were disrespectful. It's like, how are you the fastest 47-year-old on the planet?
Man, Aaron Ernest started that. He
Is
tweeted me like, "That's
AARP
crazy."
worth it? Like so many.
ARP. What's ARP?
That's like when you're retired, like, and they get
Oh man, they clowning me,
they're
man. It's
clowning. Someone
fine,
asked,
man.
what are
It's
the
joking.
80s like? And it's like he was born in 92.
Hey, that's funny, man. Like me, I have very, very thick skin. So if people like saying joke, I don't really be caring, man. I grew up in New Orleans where we got joked on every single day. So
Yeah.
people saying stuff like that stuff don't bother me, man. I just laugh. It's just funny though.
All right, the
But
last one was what is it? Is it true Quincy taught you what Riz was on this thing?
yeah, so we did this one-on-one thing with me and him with USATF. And we was talking off the camera. He like, man, I seen you risen. He was talking about, I was talking to somebody, I was risen. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what is Riz? Like, I hear that term so much. Like, and then he told me what it was. Like, you know, you trying to talk to somebody, you know, you spitting game and you risen. I'm like, wow, that's what the kids say nowadays, Riz. So I was like, so I got Riz. He was like, yeah, bro, you was talking to you. I was like, I appreciate you putting me on game. So he told me about Riz, man. I'm like, man, these new kids, they got like all type of new stuff. Like he was telling me about like Snapchat streaks and stuff like that, man. I don't have Snapchat, so like he was like, yeah, I'm gonna post you on mine. So he posted me with his, talking about some, yeah, I'm on like a 233 streak or something. I like, I don't know what that is, but cool. Like, but yeah, he told me about Riz, man. Riz.
All right.
I got
Last
Riz.
thing for me is
Mm-hmm.
this Mondo race is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Mondo versus Carson, 100 meters in Zurich.
Yep.
He called, you know, for you on Twitter, help him with some block starts. Where are we at with this thing?
Yeah. Well, it's for sure it's definitely happening. And I think a lot of people gonna be very surprised on how fast Mondo really is because you know, he ran 10.5, 10.4 well in high school, but I actually seen Mondo train, you know, for his pole vault, and he actually sprints. He actually do workouts like as a sprinter. So his biggest attribute when he pole vaulting is his speed. If you see on the runway, like it's no way he could get that high without having some speed. So um I got him for the win. I don't want to put a time on it, but I definitely sure he's gonna beat Karsten. No disrespect to Karsten, but Mondo's fast, like, and you know, I'm watching him today doing some starts and stuff. He looked really, really well. Good low hill recovery, good drive through the first 30 meters. So he's looking really, really good. He might go out there and surprise himself, but it's definitely gonna be fun to watch. I'm definitely gonna be very entertained to see it, you know, because it's not so much that we get to see those type of exhibitions race. I think me, Matt, and Hudson, me, and Matt Hudson Smith just talking about trying to get together with a GB versus USA 300-meter exhibition somewhere just to try just do some like exhibition stuff like this to just mess around with. But I'm gonna actually go down and see that because I feel like I just want to see. I want to see it live. I don't want to see it on TV. I actually want to see it live because I know and he doing it in one of the best places to do it. Zurich. Zurich is phenomenal, you know, stadium, phenomenal fans there to do it at. So I think everybody will get a very good kick out of it. Mondo definitely should win.
Is it close?
It might be a little close. Because, like, I mean, Warham definitely has speed. Like, you don't run 45 over the hurdles without some type of speed. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and he already get out very aggressively anyway. So I think it's gonna be close though. But I got Mondo for the win just because I'm being very biased too, because you know Mondo LSU, you know that's my guy, so I'm gonna just go with him regardless. You know, even have a shot, but he definitely got a legitimate shot at winning. But it's gonna be close though. It's gonna be closer than a lot of people think, because Karsten can sprint too as well, and I think people underestimate his speed. But I got Mondo too though. People don't really know how fast he really is, and they're going to see how fast he is on
Love that.
his.
Awesome. Well, Vernon, I appreciate you
Mhm.
always taking the time for CITIUS Mag. I didn't know if we were gonna get you on after you did Nightcap because you were too big time, but love
Nah,
it.
man. You know, we were supposed to do nightcap in Paris, but it was just so much going on trying to get everybody together, and we had like practice and training. So I told Shannon assistant like, hey, we might have to wait till we get home and try to get everybody on together and stuff like that. So it worked out, you know. And nightcap was cool though, man. Shannon Sharp, he's very underrated about his stats and stuff like that. He was really on
He
point with
knows his
everything.
track, yeah.
You know, but you know me, I was trying to take Ocho job, you know. I just man, I was just messing with Ocho, but yeah, nah, I'm always anytime you need me on Cities, I'm always here, man. I'm big, you know, y'all my guys, y'all fun to do. Y'all been doing a great job with everything. So, you know, who knows? I might be co-hosting with you.
Listen,
You know,
always there's always
Kyle left us, so you know, who knows? Who Matt might be gone too. Who knows? I might, you know, fill in. You know, so you know, and you know, Kate been holding me down too, rooting for me in Paris, man. So shout out to her. She said I'm her biggest fan, you know. So she was rooting for me, man. And I saw the video she posted and stuff like that. So I wish I could have got with y'all while we was in Paris. Where a lot of stuff was
Paris is
going
hard
on.
to for us to do
I
interviews and all that
know.
stuff, but
I would definitely want to come check out some after the race and just chop it up with y'all, just to, you know, because there was a lot going on in Paris, and man,
mhm.
with